Greetings, 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 greetings. The Americans. The Americans, sometimes collectively called America, are a landmass comprising the totality of North America and South America. Now we express that for share with some of my people. So other foreign people create different designation like Central America, North, South, Central America. But we just work with the basic. That's the basic where you can look on any map. Basic any map. Again, equator divided map. And you have a thing called meridian line where come down from top to bottom. So these are dividing marks, And anything above the equator, then consider north. Anything below, south. So just, them would say two continents, but we can look at it as just a continent. So then use the word the America or America interchangeably. And we are talking on the foundational aspect, the basic, the base. We said the concept of citizenry originate in Greece. I would say a foreign thing, particularly within city-state, not nation-state. It's a city-state known as policies, similar to policy, police. These early forms of citizenship were deeply intertwined with daily life in the police, that's what I'm calling area, and the responsibilities of citizens were closely tied to their participation in the community. The modern day distinction between citizenship by consent, which is a choice, and citizenship by descent, like they would say birthright, also was rooted in ancient Greece. So them thing are foreign thing that bring over yourself come impose on us. The idea of citizen as a particular, specific, when you hear them say particular or participatory member, that means say you are vote and active in other thing. So the idea of a citizen as a participatory member of a political community emerged in ancient Greece city-state around the 8th century BCE. Modern citizenship is often defined by legal status, such as being a member of a nation state with, with rights and obligations outlined in the country's constitution and laws. Just like here, Chapter 3, Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms. On the mainland, the US Bill of Rights within that constitution, the first, I think, First Amendment, 10 sections, or the 10 amendments. Now, them say, as a political model, the nation state fuses or merges, which is join or blend to form a single entity. So then for the nation state merges two principles. These principles are state sovereignty and national sovereignty. We said the state sovereignty would be Jamaica as an American state. Again, Jamaica as an American state pursuant to the Organization of American States, which recognize the rights of states to govern their territories without external interference. Now, the principle of national sovereignty would be Jamaica as an island nation, which recognize the right of national communities to govern themselves. That means that I group or I family member govern ourselves, we not under no body's government. Now again, as a state, pursuant to the Organization of American States, that's why we said the Americas. Now after all of them things we are talking about, then them of them United States or Union of States on the mainland, which is a federal jurisdiction with them claim 50 federal states, as we would call it, and that would be on the mainland. However, when you look on the information we have on this thing, the imagery, it has a member state 34 independent state of the Americas has ratified means consent, the OAS Charter, and are members of the organization. This is one of the oldest organizations in existence. This organization was before the Organization of African States. So then duplicate what them have over here and bring it over there. This is why our Jamaican foreign minister did a try swing our people to Africa. That is that woman, what's her name? That little yellow skin, yellow face lady. So them start promote Organization of American States. This was after Iman introduced this information around here. So now me have shown us if the item going at the basic, Google search and type in these things. You're gonna say independent state of the Americans. Pay attention. It's Antigua and Barbados. Look all the way down, you see Brazil, you'll see Canada. You go all the way over, you see El Salvador, Guatemala, Costa Rica. You go down, you'll see Haiti, then you see Honduras, and then you see Jamaica. So Jamaica is an independent state of the Americas. You go across and you'll also see United States of America is also a state. Bahamas, Commonwealth of. So when we are talking, people might think we just a reach, but we are said, I just there them have to pay attention and realize that them have this that is first, and then them create other things after. But this can't go nowhere. This is in place same way. This is why I said we as West Indians are undeportable for any which part we go in this hemispheric region. We are home. We are home. You understand? And this is why in my world passport, my passport specifically said American island of Jamaica. And these were intentional. Why? Because I can correlate that information with the Organization of American States. Other people use my information and then create World Passport, which is a private instrument. But as I've always been saying, I can defend anything what I man present. You simple break it down. Other people would have other information in their documents. And those kind of things are going to clearly express the fact where there is no association specifically with I unless I express it in a written form or verbally. Again, the people we associate with our society are working their nation. Them can express our private travel documents in the form of a world passport. Yeah, I come out with that too. Everybody did create them own ID, private ID, which is lawful under the common law. However, they use this specific instrument because it was established within the time frame when they make a lot of changes and then reconstruction. And it's private, so the public area will not promote it. Just like how them can't promote me. Probably if you go to the government of Jamaica and say, yo, me a man named Dollar something, I call himself sovereign man, and them have all kind of different labels. Jamaica, I wanna know him. Don't be surprised if themselves never heard of that man. Just like how if you present a world passport to them and say, hey, are you familiar with this information? They'll tell you, hey, I've never seen or heard of that before. Why? Because it's outside of them, the scope of their authority. Them not have no jurisdiction there. Them can't monetize nothing there. Them not gonna benefit or profit from that private instrument. So them not promote it. But it don't mean it's unlawful or it's illegal. It means it put in a diplomatic capacity above the statutory legal policy. Yeah, man. And make them have to maintain the proper legal codes. That's what I'm call law, or maintain under the Constitution. Those are proper legal codes. Some I might just use the word law loosely. Yeah, I know so law is always contractually binding and enforceable agreement. Yeah, but the system of always a presume out there. So when I hear with that's not get you know not get too offended, because we are express a side of the information that is there, but the clarity people not have, or people just ignore it because they are so distracted with the immediate gratification or what going right now in front of them. And me I tell them some more so what going in front of you. Those things not apply to the people who choose to be sovereign, the national people opposed to the citizen people. When it's sovereign, them offer them no one call it sovereign, them will call it national. But them are going to give a different classification as national. That's why you have to be specific. The generality is where the deception lies. The specificity is where lawful capacity dwells. So you have to, choose. Now, again, we are trying to share information where our people, especially the one them, and specifically the one them where I try to learn from some information where I man personally I present, in the form where we are presenting. These specific people are Uno me I do them video for really, because now I can talk to everybody individually. So when they are them get time, them I go catch up on these things. When you hear me say we are undeportable is because our status as West Indian, as American Indian, as the original people here, and non-citizen. You cannot be a citizen in no capacity. Else what I'm saying cannot apply to you. Literally. Yeah, can't apply to you. And when we talk about the organization of American state, you know, just type in the document. That's all it is. Now it's again the principle of state sovereignty first articulated in the Peace of Westphalia 1648, which recognized the rights of states to govern their territories, landmass area, without external interference. Now, this location, Westphalia or Westphalan, is a North German region. Actually, what them used to call Prussia, which is one of them little area they are state in Germany. And Prussia is that location where at one point in history them was so, you know, say smart. When them send them go war, them lost the war because the soldier them it's so intelligent them never see the sense in just obeying orders and just run like in the movies. You see some dumb people just look at the machine gunfire, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, a million rounds per second, and then just rush into it like crash dummy, cannon fodder, you know, that's silly people. This is why in a Prussia now they would have to rearrange them educational system. Yeah man, when them lost the war, them decide say the people them too smart, so them have to go dumb them down. And then use that very same dumbed down Prussian form of educational system was introduced to this American hemisphere in the 1900s. Some call it the Prussian method of learning. Basically, that's, you know, why you see our people find it hard to develop above the capacity where Babylon have them in a salute, Sami, Anamiki. Yeah, man, it's hard for people develop above that capacity because we get a Prussian method of learning within our system, and that make the people yeah, stay like how we stay. Yeah, it's like we just have to become permanent slave because them can't enslave you when you apply intelligence, but they'll enslave you perpetually because of your ignorance. That's why in the Bible it said the people suffer because of lack of knowledge, because of them ignorance. You understand? Yeah. And them must suffer because them allow themselves voluntarily to go through that change because of such ignorance. That's all it is. Yeah, man. So again, we are talking about, you know, this German people were, you know, institute these kind of designation about state sovereignty and all these things. However, them could dismiss the national sovereignty, which is based on the moral philosophical principle of sovereignty of the people, also known as popular sovereignty. I talked about it a couple of days ago, according to which states belong to their peoples. You hear what I'm saying? This implies the legitimate rule of a state requires some sort of consent by the people. Again, that requirement does not mean, however, that all nation states are democratic. Indeed, many authoritarian rulers like Donald Trump and Andrew Originates have presented themselves both to the outside world of states and the internal and internally to the people under their rule. Hear them say? To the people under their rule, as ruling in the name of a sovereign state. So this is where Jamaica do. Them tell you nonsense, so them a rule over you, so you are under their rule. But them are going to tell us that they are ruling in the name of a sovereign nation. And which sovereign nation? Is it the foreign crown or is it the sovereign island nation being ruled by, say, the assumed sovereign state government? Now we say member states. Again, we just talk about the 34 independent states. I'm showing us that Jamaica is a member. That's why your birth certificate have the big Jamaica on it. But on a comprehensive represent the state, American state. But that is the American trust. That's why it's called a foreign trust. You understand? And that foreign trust is initiated and governed by the foreign constitution abroad. It's a foreign trust and talk about two trusts. And then the Jamaica will express their trust is a proper law, which is a charter of fundamental rights and freedom as amended 2011 by assent. When you read that instrument, it got different from what the political agencies express in the public. And I have proven it. This is why a famous artist out there is free to this day. Why? Because I stay right here in the public and invoke that clause, the double jeopardy clause. It's not expressed that way in our constitution, but that's what it is. Where them cannot convict you twice for the same crime. On the mainland, them have something like that where, like how Joel Jaguar keep going into court year in, year out for the same charges, only for get it dismissed, only for a new police come on the island for see him traveling freely in an automobile and arrest him, and the very same sodomite, reptilian looking clerk magistrate Donald P. Hart keep bringing this case over and over again, and having Inchman, that Ku Klux Klan member, state trooper Kevin M. Bates, who influenced the Nantucket Police Department. Everybody is under his, let's say, influence. Whether them black or white, or Ku Klux member is there with black. In other words, the hillbilly redneck cracker who is a Ku Klux member is the boss, and him hire nigger to work on behalf of his Ku Klux organization. Easily proven. Look at the Police Federation on the mainland. 98% of them are foreign men, and probably 2% are work on behalf of those foreign men. The those 2% would be what them call the African American, you know what I mean? But there's no such thing here. African American are the people who are born and whatever in Africa and come over here and naturalize as American. So the people and what I'm talk about through the India. You understand? Yeah, the Indian. Now them kind of breakdown and clarity, you're not gonna get it in a school. You're not gonna get it in a formal institution of learning. And even when it's out there in them official documentation. Because of the distraction and how you were conditioned with the Prussian method of learning, then you're not going to gain access to it because you read it and throw it away, ignore it. No different from the Bible. People read now with their own interpretation opposed to what is being written. Yeah, them will read the Bible and it says, thou shalt not kill, and then tell you, the people say, you're in the military, you're a citizen, go and kill some other citizen somewhere else. No different. Absolutely no different. So if we now have them kind of foundational truth here, and know say America or the America are one and the same, and a one landmass area, but it have two half because of the geographical location where the equator is. The equator runs smack dab in the middle of it. The equator is called the Black Belt. We would have called it the Indian Belt because really people will look like us. The darker shade people exist closer to that equatorial, let's say, area. As time go by, things change. Now, in this tropical area, you will find all kind of people where normally exist in the northern regions, cold regions. I don't know what happened, but boy, I love our sunshine, especially here on the island. Once upon a time, majority of the people with dark skin look like me. Right now, probably a 2% of people look like me left. Not saying white people there, I know, where I said most of our dark skinned people bleach out now, them don't want to stay dark no more. Yeah, man. So now, even the mainland that them look upon me and say, boy, sovereign man, you look too black, you look like Africa you come from. And me have to laugh, you know, and ask them to check them history. Well, a brethren I come from Africa and come live in America named Kofi. And him daddy work with the American Colonization Society back in the 17 and 1800 when shipped over 40,000 Indian from the Americas to Africa and different location. All of these things are documented out there. American Colonization Society is a nice little area for start. And we are talking about basic. We are talking about the base level, you know. We are talking about on the ground, the foundation. Our people love run past them area then and follow some people what them call Moors and Moorish. Yeah. Moors and Moorish is synonymous with Louis Farrakhan group. Them are just branches of the same set of ones. That's all it is. And I'm on saying in 1621 the word Indian was changed or substituted for the word Moorish. And then so with this single alteration, The original text was again transcribed in 1730s. So again, let me say you can find this a source P by the Museum of American Archaeology and Ethnology, 1888, Harvard University, volume. Now, hear them say archaeology and ethnology. This is why Mila says citizenry versus ancestry. Citizenry are where we express citizenry is supposed to be, and ancestry are where we express it's supposed to be. Citizenry can be any sodomite come attach themselves to some political organization and trap you, say you and them are the same. That's the citizenry. It's like few years ago, I sit down out amongst shop with some warrior and an African brethren a sell chemical pass through. And we are reason. And the African expressed to me in front all of the ones them say, boy, I'm a citizen of Jamaica, even though I'm an African. So I guess he would be called an African Jamaican or a, yes, that's what it would be like for him, what I call an African American. And in being a Jamaican citizen is no different from all of the other citizens who want me to show themselves. One not different from him. Yet him in a higher capacity than one. Because him can lift up him shirt and show him big lights a gun. And all I know is down here say, "Ah, if you not have gun, it probably illegal." And him an African and him a Jamaican citizen. But he never exposed them thing. I just needed know these things through me and him a correspond. I haven't seen that brother there again in years, look like in Burma, Poma or something else. But like the African priests when they were molested underage girl and the whole place keep it a secret. I'm telling you, say, is a brethren, I mean, know that they were familiar with them. They make him get the Jamaican citizenship. I'm tell the brethren, say, need to make sure, say, that brother lose that citizenship and then deport him from Jamaica. I never really follow up on that thing. I have to call me agent and ask him where I'm going. And they are telling us that these things are things that manifest itself behind the scenes. Yeah, when them get exposure, it come on the news and then it disappeared. You understand? It's like one of them politicians that where it is alleged saying unalive him wife and all kind of and then when I hear nothing about it. It look like him supposed to be locked up, but him probably there in the yard every night. Or every day I'm not locked up. This is how the system operates. You don't really get no justice card and say, you're a slave. And the same thing I reach my brethren Joel job worker, so the same thing reach me here. This is why I'm not have my pro box. I have my pro box, I drive it on the road, traveling, moving freely in my land. You understand? I'm telling you the condition of my pro box, how proper it is. All we need now of it, get my paint job going, interior, all my seat and the fluff up and redone. You understand? And it never had enough fancy craziness. It looked like the original. Some like the thing when I upgrade the thing, it still like oh like brand new. And some Jamaica police that's on the orders are under holiness and in cabinet. These, low life people just conspire and falsely arrest me, falsely imprison me, take over my car, lock me up. Me have to sign a notice of recognizance, just like my brethren Jaguar, forget out of the 100-man police station lockup. The only thing with our Jamaican police, they never shackle me like how the sodomite Ku Klux Klan white man, Kevin M. Bates, always a shackle Joel Jaguar. Listen to me. Them shackle Joel Jaguar waist. Them shackle him Kevin Bates, Kevin M. Bates, state trooper that Ku Klux Klan sodomite. Shackle Joel on behind him back. Them shackle Joel Jaguar 2 foot, them say mafia jump like a bullfrog. Him can't go walk. And them shackle it short. And then them put Joel Jaguar on up in the neck, up in the ear and shackle him on to his neck back. The Ku Klux Klan boy do that. You know, your graphic it sound, can you imagine you got through that and you don't know it. You're not a criminal. But just because them are on Nantucket Island, you better be a good slave. You just better be a good slave. Else you get persecuted. And then them call immigration and tell lie on you. And then them say, you're, what them call it? Them expel you, like is in school from the island, meaning you can't come back on the Ku Klux Klan white face grand wizard, that reptilian guy Donald P. Hart. He is the orchestrator of all the racist nonsense over there. And that hillbilly redneck cracker have a style about him, people. That guy will send the hangman to hang you, but he'll see you and he'll fold his hand to you like he's in a prayer, and he'll smile and nod to you, wave to you, and then go and tell his state trooper to come arrest you, assault you, and do anything that can get away with. That guy is an evil guy. I'm telling you, people. But true, I can see them spirit. That's why I can express it that way. And then Joel Jaguar first acknowledged, so Joel Jaguar expressed these things to me. Yeah, man, when I say these things, Joel Jaguar only can confirm it. This is how them treat him. Them try to deceive him, them smile with him, but them a shove a knife in him back. Our Jamaica police, them never really do that. Our Jamaica police are what you call them maroons. Them are the real slave catcher. Them are the nigger will look like you. So if you have money, you and them can't have no problem. Matters not what you do. Matter of fact, let me make this clear. If the police them get an order for come knock you, watch me now. You would just have all a $5 million in your vehicle at the point that when them a come knock you, and the police will take the 5 million from you and make you drive at least. Them now make you go a mile. You probably go 1 block down the road where the next police are gonna kill you. But them a do business with you first. Them always want for the business, irrespective of what any one of them a tell you. Because if me a police, me not tell you no lie. If them give me the order, so that man have the order for, and when me, watch me now, they'll go back to my boss and say, watch me, the job done, him dead, but here one now. I get a 5 mil off for him now, and this is my 5 mil, because me did get it off for him. Case closed. One can't talk to me or lock me up or nothing. I'm share that with my squad, then go up on the mission. The job done. Me now go be the police are going in the house, go rob him and go rob him jewelry. And no. Him a go stop and me a go tap him and make him know say a judgment, you know. And him a go say, yo, sovereign man, I work for the government now, me I say me just get the order. Yeah man, and me get it. What you can do for yourself, him say me a 5 million right here, so me say, alright, give me, go on. And as him reach down the road of judgment, them a go always do that. So when you hear my view talk, my view now go tell you all right. You understand? Sometimes you hear my view, I say them not giving 2 million and you can't stay that. My view now want to know say him always a collect money when him a talk out there on TV. Who you think get the money? Eh? Then when the policeman go pick up whomever and get whatever and collect the money, who you think them share it with? That's my view. I met my view. My view are bright, 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 bright. My view are probably one of the brightest vlogger them out there what one don't know about. And my view are one of the most talented vlogger that we one probably don't know about. And I don't know my view. I'm just analyze the warrior from a distance. Yeah man. And I still say, him not look like I physically. Or if you just move and talk like him have a big fat belly, yeah man, man not gonna lie now, say him can't run and play football. Enough big fat man can we outrun it too. But now I tell you say, you know him not lean and turn up like how we turn up, you know. Yeah, yeah, them not have them royal genetics, yeah. And as hard as him work, you ever see say feel thing not natural, him gonna look like some of them entertainer, you always see I do all kind of push up and you see them just transform and muscle up. Like them a go act in a movie, you know. But it's always a good thing when you emphasize your health. If I even for just show, it's a good thing. Yeah, man. But I'm gonna say, you know, we as a people have to know who we is, and if we don't know who we is, the sodomite, them are gonna persecute you. Because me I tell you, so the same thing what Jaguar go through, and the same thing we go through. But again, our police are the maroon, Moorish, maroon type of police. Slave, real slave catcher. And true, me I walk with no bag of money, them just take me care and mash it up, carry me in a court. And they were so confident. They were so confident I'm going to get a conviction over me. God, them said them change them road traffic act and remove all the provisions were secure in the constitutionally, them just remove it. And brag out them are going to mash up the sovereign man. The police, all the sergeant there. A. Edwards, when them reaching 100 man, him start whisper, see the great one there? Yeah, the great one. Everybody a look. So you know them big old plans, say, boy, them want to tear down my thing. I remember me not criminal. No gang, no gang member. Now we can call me name, say, boy, them man there. No. Yet, I saw them persecute us. You know what I mean? When the joker them carry me to them court, back and forth, but that's patient. I remember, you know, then give me notice of a cognizant, which is a contract. If me not show up, that's when them can effect or, you know, enforce the contract. So the moment I discover that me can cancel and terminate the contract, I did. And that put a monkey wrench in everything what them are do. These people literally turn idiot. You have a Spanish town court clerk named D. Kelly, I don't know if a David Kelly, Donald Kelly, or Dog Excrement Kelly, I don't know, but a D. Kelly. I've seen him one time look like a cross-dressing gay pompous sodomite. Now my respect for him, him get the opportunity for we can come together and discuss this thing and resolve it. Just like the very first court clerk where they in a town, his name was Richard James Ayub. That sodomite was like a nemesis in my skin in a 2019, 2020, 2020. That sodomite just is just there. And you know, when that nasty man disappeared, that little Trinidadian holy guy where they made a train for the judge, is when I place some document on the court, but that was the only certificate of fact I placed on the court. And then disappeared. Literally. Yeah, man. Lot of certificates now, but when I place them on the court, it would have shut them down and I not get to learn nothing at all, you know. I remember me tell them I'm there for soon about the and bring the earth. But that's tell them say this is what it is and you know, have to respect it whether I don't like it or not. And I represent that change, whether they like it or not. God, and can't go around my authority. I may express to you what the authority is, but it looks a simple to you. And I miss it. And I don't think there is no man in the earth that can present a document like what I've presented and effect an organic public record area without notary and all. So when they use notaries because I want you just create contract with them fictional area. And this is why on my document, the justice of the peace seal is usually on the reverse side of my document. My seal document always, always, and that is my house seal. This is why I don't need no representation. I don't need a house of nobody's representative to represent me. And them thing that make myself when I can express it, I can prove it, I can verify it with certification from the organic public record that cannot be rebutted by no public entity. A them thing I make myself win. And if I follow with a foreign guy, white guy, I talk this nonsense, and I ride up and down with shotgun in them car and I say, hey, I'm sovereign. You want a gunfight? Nothing like that. All of these people are foreigners in my land. They are all federal citizens, whether they want to be federal state citizen or federal national citizen. Them a citizen, once them citizen is attached to their name, them separate and distinct from I as sovereign, non-citizen. You understand? If I not express these capacities, I'm not gonna know it. I may have to do it for my people who are out there in the world, especially for my warrior them where they're in Russia. I mean, I want Putin drawing a card on him, that's why I have to rate Putin. Putin now move like Donald Trump, where some non-toxic pedophile can tell him about sending ice for free West Indian. Where them get that nonsense from? And I am here, this sovereign man, people. I show them a brag, so them have all equipment and standing army, and me not have none. But Donald Trump office is not above mine. And this is the clarity. That's why I can stay right yes, from my office and effect any court around there on the mainland. I've done it in 2017 in a one place named, what a place named Georgia. One of them mountain places, a rock mountain, I don't even remember the lady name. But I remember that lady was on YouTube crying and crying, oh, them all pick her house. One bunch of nonsense. This was in 2017, people, and I remember these things. And when she contact me, you know me, I like to write on paper. I'm gonna just, send off some information to her and make she put it in some location. And she was okay. But then she disappeared. I don't even remember if she buy me a drink. I doubt it. But I heard she disappeared. And I think she started teach and do all kind of nonsense. And I'm not sure if she get in trouble. I heard something like that. But it's been a while. Some may tell them say a long time we out here. I pick at them, Till we reach this point now where we can say we still a learn, but we are way more advanced than 2019 and 2021. Way, way more advanced. Yet we have documents where grandfathered in and them things that did before the corona virus mess. I'm telling you, when everybody lock in and can't access the county area, the county recorders area, I was. Need to access it. Never have no problem. And I'm quite sure I step over there, so there is nobody forgiving a problem. None. No public entity can give me a problem. Period. God, I work for the government. And the government I work for me in my sovereign state capacity. So now for gain clarity out here, stop act like say, I don't want to make some guru direct, when the guru properly enslaved. Which guru can rebut that? And which joker can tell me say me a slave? Which one? When phone government express to owner say, "Uno a slave," and my government totally ignore me. Them no want publish nothing about me. Ask yourself why is that? Ask yourself why no prime minister upon this island where I work for the foreign government then cannot call my name out there in the public. Why is that? I know so my authority supersede his by a mile, by decades. And it's not arrogance or bragging. This is a truth where and I know we're not gonna find verification or validation outside of me for them truth that Babylon not showing nothing. And when I'm telling us go look to the public record number, yeah. When I'm not gonna look. When I wait on YouTube, when I share some information and just take some things and run with it and make a mess out there. Literally make a mess out there. That's what our people do. Them a link I, you know, and give I the strength. You know. Yeah, man. That's why I deal with my people harsh. And I go always deal with them harsh, because I saw them deal with me. And the ones that will deal with me with kindness and love and gentility, may I reciprocate. May I deal with them with kindness, love, and gentility. And as them change, may I change with them. So God, you now go treat me messy or messed up. I want me to treat you royal. Are you insane? Colonizer whip on every day on a subject on yourself to the colonizer's will. And I will share with them every day. I don't want the colonizers blow clocks me. And the colonizers are telling them broad and said, them not have no authority for that. And the same way them not have no authority for do that to me, them not have no authority for do that to Joel Jaguar C. You understand? And I keep saying it. And I like the fact where when we move, when I get no support, if that's the case, I could stay by ourselves, warrior. Like we associate with just our small group, about 30 and 40 and warriors where they out there. And make we work with the ones where I strengthen the officers with inner circle. They either know themselves with inner circle. They either know themselves or honor what's in a strength. Or honor my rate. Or honor my show absolute respect too. When I fire burn everybody, I can't fire burn honor. So honor for know myself. And know the place. And know say from a year so on that stop act like a girl. Yeah man, because I'm now gonna play that girl game there. If you're gonna get upset and turn away, I won't be running to you and I say, forgive me, brethren, what go on I'm gonna hear from you. I won't do that. Me I set them free, so I can also be free. That's why I'm telling us my thing on a cult. We can only express information for allowing for the world, for express for myself. I'm not here for nobody's convenience. No, no. They are for the ones them where I bring that strength that no different from Christ. Christ come give people a strength, but the adversary to feed people never like that. And Martin Luther King probably can say the same thing. Malcolm X probably can say the same thing. Even Marcus Garvey can say the same thing. It's nothing new. But what me like is that we are move lawfully. And that my love. Every time I move, I can show them the legal standards, what them are called law, maintain under them constitution. I can always direct them to that area. You understand? And that area, all when them want to run from it, that's where they are bound to it. They know it. You have to invoke it. If you don't invoke it, it cannot apply. Now that's what the true power is. You understand? But the adversary out there is just bad guys. Them just dressing up fancy clothes. You understand? And whether them have white skin complexion, skin tone, or them have dark skin complexion. In other words, if them ethnicity is like yours or not. The moment them I work for the bar member association, that foreign location, just know sir, them I work as an adversary to you, because them see you as business. Always know that. Now, may I talk about the Americas and or may I tell you, sometimes information is so enough, you see. People would just fall asleep, but when I think never can end this thing and not share the little information.
Charter of the Organization of American States, the Inter-American System. Although some scholars trace the antecedents of the Inter-American System back to the Congress of Panama convened by Simon Bolivar in 1826, the fact is that it was only in 1889 that the American states decided to meet periodically and to forge a shared system of norms and institutions. There were, in the meantime, conferences and meetings that attempted to give birth to the system. Only at the invitation of the government of the United States that the process began that was to continue uninterruptedly until this day. The first International Conference of American States was held in Washington, D.C., October 1889 to April 1890, for the purpose of discussing and recommending for adoption to their respective governments some plan of arbitration for the settlement of disagreements and disputes that may hereafter arise between them, and for considering questions relating to the improvement of business intercourse and means of direct communication between said countries, and to encourage such reciprocal commercial relations as will be beneficial to all and secure more extensive markets for the products of each of said countries. 18 American states took part in that conference, in which it was agreed to constitute the International Union of American Republics for the prompt collection and distribution of commercial information, with its headquarters in Washington. Later it was to become the Pan-American Union and, eventually, as its functions expanded, today's General Secretariat of the OAS. With respect to legal matters, the conference recommended adopting provisions to govern extradition. It declared that conquest does not create rights, and it produced guidelines for the drafting of a treaty on arbitration that could avoid recourse to war as a means to resolve controversies among American nations. This conference laid the foundations of what would later become the Inter-American System, commercial concerns directed toward achieving greater integration, legal concerns with strengthening state and private sector ties in a peaceful environment of regional cooperation and security, and the establishment of specialized institutions in different spheres. The conferences of American states met at varying intervals until, in 1970, they were replaced by the sessions of the OAS General Assembly, Once the Protocol of Amendments to the Charter of the Organization of American States, adopted in Buenos Aires, had entered into force. Apart from those conferences, there were also meetings of ministers of foreign affairs and special meetings, such as the 1945 Conference on Inter-American Problems of War and Peace in Mexico City, to discuss joint activities to be undertaken by the American states consistent with the United Nations, which was then in the process of being established, or the Inter-American Conference for the Maintenance of Continental Peace and Security, convened in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in 1947, which adopted the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance in the aftermath of the World War II and as the Cold War began to loom, in order to ensure legitimate collective self-defense in the event of an attack from a foreign power from outside the region and to decide on joint actions in the event of a conflict between two states parties to the treaty. Throughout this period, numerous agreements were adopted that established the basic principles of what would later become the Organization of American States. For instance, in 1923, the Fifth International Conference of American States, Santiago, Chile, adopted the treaty to avoid or prevent conflicts between American states, under the treaty, and in 1933, the Seventh International Conference of American States, Montevideo, Uruguay, adopted the Convention on the Rights and Duties of States, which reaffirmed the principle that states are juridically equal, enjoy the same rights, and have equal capacity in their exercise, reiterated the principle that no state has the right to intervene, prohibition of intervention in the internal or external affairs of another, and underscored the obligation of all states to settle any differences that might arise between them through recognized pacific methods. Several private international law conventions were also adopted in the early decades of the Inter-American system, notably the Convention on Private International Law, adopted at the Sixth International Conference of American States in Havana, Cuba, and its annex, the Bustamante Code of Private International Law. Although that convention received few ratifications and, in particular, was not followed by the southern countries of South America, which preferred the provisions of the Montevideo Treaties on Private International Law of 1889 and 1939, it was an important step on the way to codification and progressive development of private international law. In addition to the Pan-American Union, a set of institutions were gradually established to facilitate cooperation in specific areas. Over the years, and with varying names, the following institutions were formed and embarked on important tasks: the Pan-American Health Organization, 1902, which later also became the regional office of the future World Health Organization; the Inter-American Juridical Committee, 1906; the Inter-American Children's Institute, 1927; the Inter-American Commission of Women, 1928; the Pan-American Institute of Geography and History, 1928; the Inter-American Indian Institute, 1940; the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, 1942, and the Inter-American Defense Board, 1942, which were then followed, after the OAS had been established, by the Inter-American Development Bank, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, the Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission, the Inter-American Telecommunication Commission, the Inter-American Committee on Ports, the Justice Studies Center of the Americas, and others. An Inter-American Court of Justice was proposed back in 1923 but has never materialized, even though there was a precedent in the form of the Central American Court of Justice, which functioned from 1907 to 1918. Thus, a whole network of regional international institutions was established to strengthen cooperation among American states on the wide range of subjects on the regional agenda. The Ninth International Conference of American States, meeting in Bogota, Colombia, in 1948, with the participation of 21 states, adopted the Charter of the Organization of American States, the American Treaty on Pacific Settlement, Pact of Bogota, and the American Declaration on the Rights and Duties of Man. The same conference also adopted the Economic Agreement of Bogota, which sought to advance economic cooperation among the American states. However, it never entered into force. Like the OAS Charter itself, the Pact of Bogota obliges the high contracting parties to settle controversies between American states by peaceful means and lists the procedures to be followed: mediation, investigation and conciliation, good offices, arbitration, and, failing that, recourse to the International Court of Justice of The Hague, which meant that some controversies were in fact brought before that court. The American Declaration on the Rights and Duties of Man, adopted months earlier than the Universal Declaration, underscored the region's commitment to international protection of human rights and paved the way for the subsequent adoption of the American Convention on Human Rights, Pact of San Jose, Costa Rica, which was adopted in 1969 and entered into force in 1978. The charter of the Organization of American States was the result of a long process of negotiation that began in 1945. Numerous names were originally proposed for the new institution, union, regional community, or organization, and, after the last of these had been chosen, there was discussion of whether to use states, nations, or republics. The word republics was not chosen in order not to exclude other forms of government that might exist in the region, and nations was ruled out as being more cultural or sociological than legal. So that left the name we know today, Organization of American States. Also established was the new organization's relationship to the Universal System, United Nations, established 3 years earlier. Article 1 of the Charter states that, within the United Nations, the Organization of American States is a regional agency pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 8, Regional Arrangements of the Charter of the United Nations, and as such it has participated in activities related to peace and security in the region, especially and most recently at various moments in the history of Haiti, when the two organizations undertook joint missions. The 1948 Charter has been modified by protocols of amendment on 4 occasions: Buenos Aires, 1967, Cartagena de Indias, 1985, Washington, 1992, and Managua, 1993. Although they are not provided for in the Charter, since 1994 there have been politically very important summits with the heads of state and of government of the Americas, which issue decisions and recommendations, generally in the form of a declaration and plan of action, regarding objectives to be met by the organizations of the Inter-American System and, especially, the OAS. The OAS also acts as the secretariat for various ministerial meetings, in particular, for meetings of ministers of justice, ministers of labor, ministers of science and technology, and ministers of education of the Americas.
Again, we just share information so the one them can do them own due diligent research. So when we are say, this is America or the Americas, meaning the combined North and South area, landmass area. This is not Africa, my people. Now, when you hear the term America or the Americas, then just know, sir, we are talking about Indian country, we are talking about Indian land. What them call, yeah, nigger land. And then foreign man, this is when you can go type in and look when them come here. When the so-called Moorish Empire was dismantled in 1492, then you hear them say Columbus find him way over here. You understand? This is a Spanish. And after the Spanish, then we have the British, and the British and hit system are left, the British smart. The British just organize itself with all of the rest of foreign nations. And so then call themselves United Nations. and incorporate all colonies. This is why, we said Jamaica birth certificate are the foreign trust. And on the birth certificate, it means Jamaica is a state. But Jamaica is also an island nation, according to them designation. Remember them I said the merge them say as a political model, the nation state fuses, that means a merge come together. Two principles, and the two principles is state sovereignty and national sovereignty. Yeah, man. So them say state sovereignty, which recognize the right of states to govern their territories without external interference. So like all of these 34 states where you say, the Organization of American States, them have the right to govern themselves without external interference. That means that when Jamaica do so, Trinidad and nobody else but they can't really jump in for them structure themselves that way. Now, saying that the world of states, we think Jamaica and its people are being maintained under the constitutional laws, which is synonymous with the Declaration of Human Rights. You understand? Remember again, me saying many authoritarian rulers like our Andrew Holiness, what do them want, have presented themselves as rulers in the name of a sovereign state, and then do that both the outside world of states and internally to the people who are under these politicians' rule. So now understand now when Andrew given up all kind of talk, because on under theme rule. So can send police come do what them want. Because under theme rule, a man like me not under no politician rule. This is what make I sovereign in a high capacity. And them thing here the distinction people. That's why I say they won't express it to you this way. That's why it sounds so strange to you. You can either be a sovereign, meaning you're a man or a woman. If that's a boy, you're an outlaw. Or you can be a citizen, meaning you're subjected to the politicians' rules and regulation where they are imposed. Your national sovereignty is recognize the rights of national communities to govern themselves. So national community would have be like how would I say the island nation. You understand? But them spoil it up. So this is why the maroon can say them sovereign, but it was tough for them because them point of origin of Spain. That's why I'm telling you, say, some of them Moorish people that come around here and change it up. That's why the FBA organization with that youth, Tariq Nasheed, you hear him saying a Moorish maroon. And when you read that information, then probably change it through me, I'm going to express what I want. It tell us that them not original around here, and then it tell us that them not authentic. It tell us they're just some smart college boy, a create an organization and I do them thing, just like everybody else. But them lack substance. On paper, them look good. You understand? That's all it is. But when you check the paper, you're going to see them in the corporate entity area. Yeah, man. And the corporation database, I can show a lot of them as American Indian. But they're not going really have interest in them designation. Them say them are Moors and them are Maroons. Now, the Rastafari movement that just started in 1900 with the coronation of the Ethiopian emperor from the Byzantine authority. Yeah, man. It's just like when we hear people talk about Israel, Israel, and them are Israelite. I'm always partial to the kingdom of Judah. Because I know two kingdoms that around there, according to what is written. Then we have the northern kingdom where them call themselves Israel. And them have the southern kingdom where them call themselves the kingdom of Judah. And I'm all think around there, so the Maccabees warrior then, you know, they link up. Israel did more than north, so them are going to be easily infiltrated. And that's exactly what going on. I saw them spoiled. But people will tell us them disobey the Most High Creator. And I say, boy, according to what is written, if that's what I'm saying, I'm not dispute anything. But I man can look on history from that time till now and see say nothing changed. That the very same thing will perpetuate itself. The only thing will bring change are some like mud flood in a certain area and water flooding in our next certain area, but nothing really change. You understand? Yeah, you have good out there and you have evil out there, and when the good are reign, them call it golden age, and when the bad are reign, them call it court chaos. That's all it is. So right now, when you look out there, it's not no golden age. It's really chaos. Yeah, man, even when on a lie, you live in an area where it's chaotic. But you see it out there in the society, all of the news are expressing, every single news express the chaos that is out there. However, again, as you don't know, philosophical reasoning and this affair, the warrior them whether we out there. Yeah, because we know it can get lonely out there, even when you're in a crowded room. It can get lonely out there, even when you're happily married with all 6, 7 people and run up and down the house and make noise, it still can get lonely. Yeah, man. But now also know say it's a state of mind where you have to just know say boy because the fire there where they're inside of you, then the lonely is just the illusion because the fire will burn inside of you. Yeah, it will always sustain you, man. Believe it or not. Yeah, man. It will always sustain you. So I man have to be that lighthouse, that light bearer in our own unique grassroots way. Yeah, man. And chant out here for the warrior them where I say freedom. For the warrior them where I say we're gonna challenge ICE, we're gonna challenge the colonizers, we're gonna challenge this foreign congress. We now have done said that we are challenge them. Yeah, man. Any one of them citizens feel like, them have issues with we, then we now have a problem for maintain or have a discussion so we can attain negotiation. Yeah, man, and gain resolution. We now have them problem. Anyway, boy, John, sometimes, I'm a jump out, I don't even know how the time just blow out. But it not gone too far, cause look a while, I'm there on the next page with my eyes closed. I swear, say, 2 hours I'm gone, I'm just I run my mouth same way. But I'm still within one and a hour half mark, yeah, so I can wrap it up here now. Again, that's information share for bring clarity to the ones and for those them are deceived for a long time. It's not just now, but you have to just become cognizant now. And you take your time. You're a citizen, I'm not tell us to jump out. You can come here and learn while you're a citizen. Yeah, man, you can listen to my platform and learn while you're a citizen. Until you reach a point where you get your clarity, where you say, oh, it not apply to me, I can remove myself from it. But that no means, boy, you become unemployed, you become outlaw, you're gonna fall off of the face of the earth. No, it's just a slap in the face of the slave catchers, these colonizers, when they know they not have no authority over you. They don't like that, especially these unlearned police officers. Yeah, man. Them getting them feelings. Like me see a video clip with some police on the island. Two police, one in a red car, plain clothes, and some constable in a uniform. And I guess whatever the issue is, the constable upset got the brethren not shown a document, not identify himself, just I say my police. And then I think the sergeant for the constable was there. And I man literally it's like the sergeant that try to de-escalate the situation. And this little dunce constable I tell him own sergeant, I say sergeant, the mafia and so I'm like, then if the little dunce constable where is under the sergeant I behave like that, then that's why the discipline in the police force is lacking. Them not realize it a video and him know it a video, but him not realize him a go against the chain of command when the sergeant no says a police and I try de-escalate it. And this little constable, where is a constable, when paycheck is that of a constable, a challenge in own sergeant, that's I'm tell you say some bad man out there, I go on like police, Them not take talk from them sergeant, And when them do the wrong thing now, it will reflect on the sergeant. But I'm saying the sergeant is right there. And the sergeant now assert his superior officer and said, Constable, it's all right, stand down. We can resolve this another time. Nobody get into your feelings and tone down the ego. That police officer that's jumping in car and drive off. I don't know how them are going to work out that. But I think them are going to hash it out publicly, make we see. But what me I say is this, you're a constable. You're not a body brethren more than a constable. You're a man, so I respect the human dignity of you as a man. But when you work, like you get a paycheck for do some work, it not give you no authority for go above the scope of where your public oath and allegiance authorize. These little boy have a gun and go up on range and shoot at people and probably a shoot at innocent people. So not even them sergeant can get them talk. This little constable I tell the sergeant says, hey, when I hear me keep saying, say, see if them not correct these things. The judgment we got up out there, on now gonna see it coming, and when it starts, it's like something new, and it just persists, and then it becomes normalized. People are gonna really now gonna really show on a respect, on not have no behavior. I don't feel like every police stop if people not subject themselves to some little police where someone as constable on don't live nowhere. Because I know that for a fact. Like literally. On have to live from one girl, on can't get good women, your own homes. On have to live with one girl where I rent somewhere to a next girl where I rent somewhere. On not have the capacity to get proper woman where, you know, can go on a stability. On don't even want that. And you're a constable. And on a hear me I tell you say upon the brawling news, the little sodomite constable are totally disrespecting sergeant and want to escalate the situation. When I go running at some police like my next police that when me say, I have to go find out who it is. Sharing tape. The one who always a firebun Andrew. Them always I think them block the tape like that. Share it on YouTube. But I want some of them little young constable yeah, run up in that kind of police. I know the police and all of a dog from him. I was shooting to brawling. Somehow enough to know a place. Enough to know a place. And una go continue mess with people and people are gonna know una have una service revolver where don't belong to una and take it from una and use it for una. People are gonna use other things for una too and still take the service revolver where taxpayer want and all that shit well. And it's a sad excuse for public entity out there. Some of them young police out there. Sad excuse. And on always, when I'm young and a little nasty boy, on always want to exalt from older people. I don't understand that. On always want to exalt from older people. And then when me I look on the tape, if the police in the red car did I act rude and disrespectful, I never see it, I never hear that part of it. But the sergeant is there. The sergeant attacks so low that the sergeant want to de-escalate the situation. But the young constable in an eager, and they are telling her a lot of them go and pay for it. And I hope I do. I hope I pay for it fatally. On a problematic out there. When the intention is only to escalate. And then the sad thing, a lot of honor when I come off duty, when I go home unarmed, when I have nothing to carry home, when I have to leave the service weapon at the station and go home unarmed. When I want the public know that most of you people are go home unarmed. Few of you have licensed firearm. Most of you have illegal firearm. But the service, the government, one will belong to the taxpayer, like I will pay taxes. Yeah, because when I buy things, them so them take tax out. Like, you pay internet phone bill or light bill or them internet bill, them take tax. So our tax money I do. And you can't carry it go home, but the baddest thing when you on the street side with it. You need to stop it and be better. That's all I say. Because you can. The training you get, you not reflect that training. Because I hear, sir, when the police there in them little area where them are trained, I hear sir and mom and good mom and them real proper. But as them come a road, worse when them a get some of them low IQ woman that for sleep with. Man, them change. Most of them are embarrassment to them own parents. Parents embarrassed. And now if you do anything more professional, that's all it is. Get out on the ego, work on our work. Because the moment when I start lose on a job, when I misconduct on myself out there, it won't be a reality check. When you was a police, the body's thing, and then you lose the work, no more police, but you're going either going to forget I'm a criminal and you're going to be a pussy as a criminal. But you're no more authority presuming bad man. Because you don't have the protection of the government no more. And that's why I don't behave support. Andrew Holiness inappropriate and him a bad man and himself government badness and all of them is a reflection of Andrew Holiness. Yeah man. All of them. Anyway, my work done. Give thanks for the time, give thanks for the moment. Boy, Sammy, you're there. Give thanks, warrior. Yeah, man, you hang out, we do it for the whole time. Yeah, man, the ones I'm gonna catch up with this information later and we'll take it from there. But yeah, if you don't have clarity, then you all are drifting out there. And if you don't want, acknowledge a public slavery, all I will say are going out there, then at your own detriment. Right? If you can acknowledge it, then you're going to choose to do something about it. But when you ignore it, it remains in place. Complete gratitude for the time, the presence, and the moment. Salute, free people. Salute.